and they write up different scenes. So what I received was Scheherazade and Sinbad, which is another amazing story. And so I was so excited about it, but a part of me was like, it's not Jasmine. Okay, but that's fine. I was like, it's fine. It's Scheherazade, it's a Sinbad tale, and that's a really great story. And there are these two scenes that were so amazing, very empowering, which I loved. I said, wow, they're really making this Scheherazade character very empowering, strong, and very badass, which I thought was really cool. So the description they gave was that she's not afraid to walk into a room and go into battle with men and women, well, mostly men at that time, that are 10 times her size. And I said, well, that's me, everyone's taller than me. So I said, okay, fine, got that. And I said, well, if she's fearless in that, and she works in the Sultan's courts, but she also goes into battle. I kind of thought, well, she sounds a bit of a tomboy, which I could relate to. So I started coming up with ideas of what to wear to the casting, so I decided to wear, I think, my Gallivant costume when I went in. Something in my gut just told me just to put on some jodhpurs, and I wore my horse riding boots that still had dried mud on them at the end. But I purposely didn't clean them off because I thought, well, she's a tomboy, and if she's not afraid to go into battle with so many people, twice her size, then what's a little bit of mud on her boot? So I left it there. And then I put on the paisley blouse, tied my hair to the side, and I went to the casting. And when I got there were all these beautiful women wearing gowns, dresses. Some of them were wearing, one was wearing a tiara, the other one was wearing this beautiful necklace, like jewelry, ornate jewelry. And they all looked at me and said, what are you wearing? I was horrified. I quickly went to the bathroom in a mad panic and called my agent saying, can I go home and change? And they're like, why? I'm like, because clearly I did not get the memo. They all look like princesses, and I clearly don't. And he said, take a selfie of what you're wearing. And so I did, and sent it off. And Stephen said, Karen, there's no time for you to drive all the way back home for you to come back and make it in time. And I was like, oh no. I felt so bad. I thought I just blew my chance even before going in the door. So I said, well, I have no choice. I've got to go in like this. So each girl was coming out wearing these lovely dresses and everything, and I go in and I'm like, hi. And Veronica was there, and she was so lovely. And she said, do you have any questions? And I said, actually I do. I said, I couldn't help but notice that a lot of these lovely girls outside are really dressed beautifully. It's not like she's a princess or anything, is it? Because I mean, you know, you said that she works in the Sultan's court, but you didn't say what she does. And you said she loves to go into battle, so it's not like she's a princess. And then there was this big pregnant pause. Because Veronica didn't know whether to tell me or not. And she said, well, okay, don't say anything. She goes, it's for the role of Jasmine. Come again? It's for Jasmine. I was like, all of a sudden, just became this fangirl. I was like, oh my God. I was like, Jasmine? She said, is that all right? I'm like, yep, it's absolutely fine. I think in that moment, you know, we all have our childhood Disney icons that we have grown up with and grown to love. And we think, yeah, I can relate to this character, I can relate to that Disney character. And for me, it was Jasmine. But having gone through a very awkward stage in my life, in my teenage years, I had really bad acne. I think many of you know, and if you don't, now you do. I had really, really bad acne. I was just an awkward kid. My mom said I went through the biggest, massive, ugly stage. Thanks, Mom. She's keeping it real. So, and I did, and I never thought in a million years that I could be Jasmine. So when Veronica told me that in that moment, it was a bit emotional for me, because that's something that I never thought that I could play, because I still relate to that awkward girl who I now love and adore, that awkward girl that I once was. But that came out, and I thought, well, could I play Jasmine? It was like a dream come true in that moment. But I'm glad I only found out in that minute, because had I known I was going up for the role of Jasmine, I would have been really nervous, guys, like really, really nervous, and maybe a bit overwhelmed. So I'm kind of glad I didn't know, and I didn't have any time to process that. So I only had like 2 seconds, and that was it. And then went straight into the scenes and just did my thing, and then left. I didn't hear anything for 3 weeks, and I thought, oh, I probably haven't got it. Meanwhile, my agents had already heard from them. They were just negotiating the deal. So when I got the call, they're like, guess what? You remember you went out for Once Upon a Time? They're like, well, it's for the role of Jasmine. I said, yeah. They said, well, you got it. And I was like, yeah. I was like, little me, I got it. And I was with Tom Keegan, who I was doing Mirror's Edge with, the video game. And I said, I can't believe it. I said, that pimply-faced, spotty, bullied teenager that I once was, she got the role of Jasmine. And I thought, if I can do it, any of you can do it. And that's something that I always say to anyone when they ask me about that role, is that, the only thing stopping you from going after what you want is you. And you are your own best friend and your biggest cheerleader. And the way you perceive yourself is how the world will perceive you. And my mom's always brought me up, my mom and dad, to treat others like the